Hey guys, it's me Bree at Cryptic Tales of Tarot. I know I have been away for some time, but I have, well, before I forget, happy belated Valentine's Day. And if you feel like the energy is strong, that's because it is, because there's a hell of a lot of spell work going on. And I think, not sure if it's the full moon or the new moon, but it's coming up here on the 17th. So people are definitely gonna take advantage of shit, but divine intervention, people getting the ass whooped. Anyways, I like I said, I feel bad for not being here, but making these lists of people that were involved in the coven and what they did, it's been very time consuming, but fucking well worth it. Because a lot of these people need to be imprisoned. They need to get arrested. Enough is fucking enough. Okay, and for all the feminines out there in the collective, yes, the stalking is going on again. It's, you know, the drill. Stalking, gang stalking, monitoring spirits, demonic entities, shit like that. Well, see, for me, my personal story here, with the names that I'm giving from the coven, there's privacy standards. The first and last name initials, and then I'm only going to give the first name, and then a short description, and then tell you what they did. And if there's anybody um, who's involved in a band, keeping their privacy as usual, but when it comes to the band, I'm only going to give one word of their band name to keep their privacy as well. And let's say if the band only has one name, I'm gonna shorten it in half. All to keep everybody's privacy. And these people play at a music venue. Obviously, I mean, it's bands that perform and shit. Uh, I will give you one word of that music venue, and it's brass. That is it. Now, let's continue with this list of shenanigans, man. Um, shit. What was it? I think we left off at number 86. And I said, I've been saying every time that the minimum number involved is like 200. But I think I'm gonna stop here because it's just very time consuming, but it's been well worth it. And it's showing how you gotta constantly, with people like this, you never know who knows who, because not only was this a coven, this was, I mean, a secret society that works with other secret societies like the Freemasons or the Mafia. I'm not asking for any fucking trouble. I'm just saying. It's somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. It's all connections. Okay, in different states and in other places around the world. And pay attention to the synchronicities, okay? Whether it's 111, 888, 999, 1010, shit like that. Oh, and trigger warning. When it comes to my karmic named Josh, I sense that he's been sexually abusing his child more often because he's a pedophile. This guy is really weird. He has a love-hate relationship for the divine feminine and wants to sacrifice her and take her off this planet, but then is a pedophile at the same time. So the psychology here is really out there. Anyways, let the show continue. Yeah, like I said, number 86, J.M. The name is John. He's tall, has black hair, and looks like an old-fashioned greaser guy from the 50s. The last time I saw him, he used to drive a motorcycle and live right around the block from my divine masculine named Sean. I don't think that John was a high priest, but a dark warlock on the down low. I sense that he did a lot of candle magic, and based on my downloads, a lot of red candles. Okay, and these were for separation spells, so that me and my divine masculine wouldn't cross paths. But if we did, then part of the spell work was to make Sean so mean to me that I would lose interest in him because of his attitude. But what they don't know, I was already ahead of that and knew that that was a part of the magic. And I sensed that John was being bullied by my karmic masculine named Josh, and was afraid of what would happen if he disobeyed Josh's orders. I think John had a talent for divination by using mirrors and runes. He used mirror magic to scry on me and Sean to see if his magic was working, but more importantly, to keep tabs on us. However, I think he overused his skills when using runes, especially when trying to determine what magic he should try next. Give me a second. Damn. Well, I was just double checking with the volume here. Anyways, number 87. C.M. Charles. I wasn't close friends with him, but we were mutual friends with Steven and Lisa. And he's a huge fan of the band called Obit. Reminder, all band names have been shortened. I've seen this band play at the music venue myself. Regardless, Charles and everyone else in the band were involved. I think that Charles was a dark high priest and very talented with his craft. I think he did a lot of candle magic to keep me broke, lonely, and stagnant. Number 88. B.M. Brock. He plays in a band called Eternal. And everyone was involved in magic on me and Sean. I think Brock is a dark high priest and took the magic much further than Charles did. I'm saying this because I think that Brock did jar spells on me and used water, white vinegar, graveyard dirt, the blood of a sacrificed animal, specifically a cat, and every fucking hot sauce and spicy pepper that you can think of, and a piece of my hair that he got from Amy, and a picture of me inside of the jar, and rolled it up with black thread, and put a shit ton of cash in there to curse my finances, and then put screws in there. And as a metaphor, it's my life was screwed. Number 89. TD. Todd. This guy dated my friend Amy for quite some time. In fact, they moved in together, and that's when the real Todd came out, which turned out to be a monster in disguise. It just so happened that his name wasn't even his legal name. Like, Todd wasn't even the real name. And he was still married to somebody else and had a list of criminal charges. Anyways, definitely a dark high priest. And I know that he and Amy were doing magic on me together. But Todd had a much stronger hold over me. Because when I did cord cutting rituals and banishing rituals, oh my god, the amount of black smoke that came out of the candle flame and how big the candle flame was, I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. So I mean, you know, you never know who knows who and who the hidden enemies are and shit. Oh yeah. And you see, when it comes to cord cutting rituals and banishing rituals, if the other person's wax, like, covers all of your wax damn near and surrounds you, that means that they've been controlling your life for years. And actually, that was a result of the same shit between me and my karmic. I've never seen shit like it. Number 90, RM, Richard. I didn't know him very well at first, but he was Amy's best guy friend. I know that they worked together to figure out how Richard could build a stronger relationship with me. So, there's no doubt that Amy filled him in on the situation that was going on, and that's when Richard took advantage of my vulnerability and used Facebook Messenger to reach out to me and console me about my father's death back in 2022. By the way, I want to make it clear there is nothing wrong with the social accounts, okay, of Facebook. Nothing wrong. It's just these people were using it for wrong reasons. Just for wrong reasons. Let's see. Well, throughout our conversations, he made it seem like he cared about my pain. But in reality, he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. In addition to this, Richard was also close to Josh, and that's because Josh ended up playing in the band called Nocturnus, which was the same band that Amy's dead husband used to play in many years ago. Anyway, Richard offered me a place to stay. At first, that sounded nice, but I didn't know him well enough, and something told me that if I had gone to live over there, I would never be seen alive again. So, having said that, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this was a strategy to kill me because he claimed that he lived deep out in the country where had few to little neighbors that were far apart. So he didn't have any issues with noise ordinance and could do as he pleased. Huge property. Sounds nice, but iffy. But I'll tell you what, I am not a country girl. No. So even if there was no intention to sacrifice my ass, I still wouldn't have gone to live out there like that. But I just knew that there was something up. Nice offer, but something wasn't right. Yeah, and I said, quiet and peaceful. I just said here, when you live in a place like that, it's easy to take someone out, and screaming out for help would be useless. And I don't think that this is the first time that Richard has sacrificed someone. And I also think that our phone calls were recorded for evidence because the coven was trying to find dirt on me to prove that all the rumors were true, but they never did. And on another note, Richard was doing some heavy ass magic on me, cursing my whole life. Okay, because once again, cord cutting rituals, banishing rituals, the candle flame was extremely high, black smoke, the wax from the bottom completely covered all over mine. So, like I said, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Number 91, NLP, Matthew. I wasn't close to him, but we were mutual friends with a guy named Steven, whom I considered my brother at one point. Anyway, Matthew plays in a band called Swamp. I also think he's a dark high priest who was cursing the shit out of my love life and wanted me sick and homeless. I think he could have worshipped Baal or Beelzebub. Number 92. CH. Chris. I wasn't close to him either, but once again, we were both mutual friends with Steven. The funny part of this situation is that Chris and Steven played in the same band called Swamp. And of course everybody was involved. I think Chris was a dark high priest and worshipped Baal, Mammon, and the Baphomet. But from my downloads, the images that I saw, each one of them had their own altars so that they wouldn't get, pissed off with each other and jealous. Because, even gods and goddesses with good witchcraft, they can get jealous of each other if they're too close with the altars. So, but I think his favorite was Mammon, because it's all about greed. So I think he used him to manifest money to pay for his traveling expenses when the band went on tour. And he prayed to my mom by asking him to keep me in poverty. This is what I sense. Number 93. M.E. the second. Name is Mark. Also plays in the band called Swamp. And just like I mentioned, everyone did some form of magic on me, but in different ways, hoping that one of the strategies would work. I think Mark cursed my love life by printing out a picture of me and my divine masculine together and then chopped the picture in half and put it on his altar and used his blood, like a prick of his own blood on it, and also the blood of a sacrificed animal, especially a cat. Okay, and that was to really, really delay the reunion that is coming. Number 94, AP Jr. Alfred. I'm not friends with this guy, but he's a big fan of the band called Swamp. and follows the band's website to find out when and where they're performing next. I don't think he's a dark warlock, but I think he was paid and bribed by Josh to stalk all my social media accounts and to keep the lies about me going like it was a damn forest fire. Number 95, RS Riley. Not friends with her, but she seems to be a huge fan of Swamp, just like Alfred is. I think Riley is a dark witch, but she kept herself hidden behind the scenes so that I wouldn't get to know her or know who she was. But I think she had a voodoo doll and sewed my eyes shut with cross stitches with black thread to try to shut down my third eye chakra, especially with how I'm a tarot reader and I'm a whistleblower. So, you know, with all the crimes that have been committed, not just sacrifices, but, you know, tax fraud, the tax evasion, I mean, fucking around with the dark web, identity theft, stealing social security numbers, all of that. I think Riley played a part in that too. And I think she knows where some of these people were buried. Okay? And she's been using divination to figure out which path to take next when it comes to magic. But she fucked up because some way, somehow, the tyrant, Josh, found out that she did shit without his approval. And that's the last thing you want to do. Because he is a motherfucking tyrant. And he does shit for everything. Anything that pisses him off. Petty shit. All of it. Number 96. AAPM. Arturo Andres. I never knew this guy on a personal level, but Josh did. I mean, I know I saw Arturo passing by in the music venue because he's in a band called Collapse. I don't think that Arturo was a dark warlock, but there's no doubt that Josh had encouraged him to get involved in the dark arts. I honestly think that Arturo could have gotten annoyed with Josh in this aspect and participated in one of the rituals just to shut him up. But in reality, I think he felt really bad for what he did because I think this dude believes in karma. And one of these rituals were meant to keep me isolated, rejected, stagnant, and homeless. Wow, 23:43 on the timer. 97. Another Jeff. JF. Jeff. Close friends with Amy, Brett, Audrey Beeson, and another guy named Jeff. All these people are dark high priestesses, high priests, who work together to curse my finances. And I think they met up in private with their own private meetings, not always with, well, excuse me. They went to their coven meetings and shit, but I think that this particular group could have had their own special meetings without everybody else because they wanted to do their own thing because they were getting annoyed with Josh and thinking how, oh, he's a know-it-all. But look at all the karma that's coming back, and whenever we try to give him advice on something, he doesn't listen, so fuck him. We're gonna start to do our own shit behind the scenes. Number 98. ST. Wow, 25-25 on the timer. They go on it. I'm doing pretty good on timing. Okay, 98. ST. Name is Sean. Once again, I didn't know him on a close level, but we crossed paths at the music venue, and he was close friends with Josh because they both played in the bands called Nocturnus and Fecal. Or Feckle, however the fuck. I think Sean played a role in keeping me isolated, rejected, and lonely. But more importantly, to do mental mind illusion magic so he could try to make me feel hopeless to the point that I would check out. No. Still here. Number 99. DT. Daniel. Obviously, yeah, no, wasn't close friends, okay? But he's close friends with Josh, and that's because they both played in the bands called Nocturnus and Fecal. I don't think Daniel did any magic on me, but I think he was forced to keep tabs on all my social media accounts. And I think that Josh tried to bully Daniel into following me everywhere. But at that point, I think that Daniel started getting tired of Josh and his bullshit. 100. JH. Jeff. He's the lead singer of a band called Nasty. He's well known for his theatrics by using his head to bust objects and then got blood all over his face. I think he's a dark eye priest and very skilled in the arts. But he's also a technical genius, I think, who worked in a group with the guys named Brent, Brian, Peter, Eric, and Danny when it comes to hacking into all of my technical devices, and the same thing with my divine masculine. They were able to read emails, text messages, Facebook messages, all of that. They did a lot of research on me to see if they could find any hidden information about my personal life. Especially, if I was a dirty girl in any sense of being involved in the porn industry. Like having what's that fucking website called? I don't know. I forget what it is, but it's popular as hell. They couldn't find shit on me. Nothing. I was never in the porn industry, nothing like that. And they were just trying to find ways to prove that these rumors were true, but they couldn't. And also, they try to get a hold of my medical history to see if they can prove anything of evidence that I was crazy. Well, if they got a hold of anything, then that's a HIPAA violation. Let's see here. Oh, OnlyFans, that's the account. You just name. Oh. And I think they were using the dark web to find the perfect hitman who could get the job done and do it right and fast. Okay, without leaving a trace. And could have been involved in stealing my inheritance and been holding on to it for dear life. And speaking of the dark web, I think Jeff has connections with people around the world and knows how to hide bodies if need be. That is, hiding bodies in different countries. So they'll never be found here in America. Number 101. P.S. Peter. He plays in a band called Druid, and he's married to a woman named Melissa. I think he's on his way to becoming a Dark High Priest, and when it comes to his role in the coven, I think he worked again with Brant, Brian, Peter, Eric, and Danny with all technical devices, but also to commit tax fraud, identity theft, social security numbers, and any way that he could manifest money to pay for tours, expense tours, traveling expenses. Number 102, M.S. Melissa. I think she's a dark high priestess, or she's working her way into becoming one. She's married to Peter, who plays in Druid. I think she worked with her husband. Okay. With all the same shit, all the technology. But I also think that she used divination to see what moves that she was gonna need to take next. And she definitely played a part in isolation spells and sent monitoring spirits so that she could keep tabs on my ass. I think she had a voodoo doll too. Did body and beauty magic and then put a lot of money, dollar bills and shit, on the doll and used pin needles to make sure they would stick on and then put it on her altar. Number 103. T.B. Tony. I think he's a dark high priest too. And he plays in the band called Druid. I think Tony did magic on his own terms in private. I think Tony focused more on Sean when it comes to curses and hexes, and I'm saying this because everybody had been focusing on me primarily, but I mean, they were doing magic on Sean as well, but in a much smoother, slick way. For me, oh fuck that. It was totally brutal and ruthless and relentless. Well, trying to throw a lot of curveballs at Sean to create mental mind illusions to keep him confused about everything, about his life, what he wanted out of life, uh, questioning his own thoughts, his own opinions, so that he would just listen to what everybody else was saying about whether or not he should get back with me. These people are knocking fucks with the way, oh, excuse me, with the way they fuck with a person's psyche with the black magic, but it seems like that's a big part of black magic. What I've read about, at least. And it also made him question uh, who his true friends were and their loyalty to him or lack thereof. Number 104, CW. Chris plays in a band called Druid. I think he's a dark high priest, but if not, he's working his way to get there. I think he's stalking all my social media accounts and could have found out my IP address so that he could always know what the fuck I'm doing on the internet. And could be screwing around and cursing with my YouTube channel here. I think he drives by my house constantly, just like my karmic masculine does. Number 105, ES. Eldon. Either he's a dark high priest or he's working his way up there. And he plays in two bands. The first band is called Druid, and the second band is called Mass. Sending monitoring spirits my way and demonic entities to harass me, but it's all been going back, return to sender. Number 106, JMD, Jennifer Marie. I hyphenated the first and middle names. Very close with the band members from Druid, especially with Peter. Well, seeing that Peter is married, but has a close relationship with Jennifer, it makes me question, is there a secret affair going on between Peter and Jennifer Marie? And now possibly the wife, Melissa, is just not figuring this out? I don't know. Well, I think Jennifer did graveyard dirt magic on me, sent monitoring spirits, spells to confuse me about my intuition. I think she also did love breakup spells to delay my reunion with my demasculine for as long as possible, and crushed my finances like no other. Number 107, BZ, Bernie. I think he's a very talented high priest and did magic to destroy my love life and keep me isolated. Bernie is well known for wearing a red robe when performing. He's in a band called Finite. I'll tell you what, when you hear the whole full name of the band, it sounds French or Norwegian to me. And he just got married to a woman named Ashley Brooke, and the ceremony was held at the music venue. Number 108, finale. ABZ. Ashley Brooke. She just got married to Bernie. I think she's an excellent dark high priestess, just like her husband. And they were working side by side. Okay. I think Ashley had a voodoo doll of me and used it for body and beauty magic. And I think she made a jar spell to curse my money and love life. But more importantly, she was adding extra power to the isolation spells. As these people thought that the constant isolation, gonna drive you to the point of insanity and make you wanna check out or go to a mental hospital or have a mental breakdown or whatever. Yeah, that was their mentality. But a lot of the feminines out there definitely could have used it to be productive, to learn more about the craft, or to get more into your hobbies, or to see if you wanted to get a different profession, anything like that. But, oh wow, 4002 on the timer. And the funny shit here is this work, 34 pages long. 34 out of 34. Right? Have a lovely day. And I know that, what is it? That museum had just opened up. Have fun, y'all.